White people, come have a seat, come to the front of the line. We need to talk. Maybe nobody ever told you this. Maybe you don't know, but you're going to learn today. Okay? Is critical thinking in the room? I saw a comment on social media the other day where a white man was responding to a black creator's post about racism. This white man said, show me exactly where in these policies and legislation that it's racist, that it says black people or black women cannot do this or will not have access to that, or I want to see it explicitly shown to me. I don't think the policy is racist. I don't think this legislation is racist. This is where critical thinking skills come into play. Imagine you have a son who is trying out for a sports team and your son is short, okay? And you just happen to notice that everybody on this sports team is tall, but they don't tell you in the language of the tryouts. They don't say, well, you have to be tall in order to get onto this team. So cool. They say everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to try out. So you go to the tryouts, your son does an excellent job. So you're all excited. You get the roster to see who was invited to join the team. And you notice that your son's name is not on there and that all the players are the tall kids. And you're like, what's going on here? And then when you bring it up to the coach is like, hey, we welcome everybody. Anybody can join our team. But you are not stupid. That's exactly how racist policies and legislation works. They can't blatantly put in the language that this is created to be racist towards black people. They can't put that in the language. That's not legal anymore. That's why they use racist dog whistles like DEI. But you don't use your critical thinking skills. So I'm going to help you out. Here's what you do. You start with the outcomes and then you reverse engineer your way back to whatever the policy or law or legislation is, okay? You start at the outcome and then you reverse engineer your way back. So what does that look like? That means if the outcomes that are being created by this policy, by this system, by this legislation is disenfranchising black people, or it's creating inequitable outcomes for black people, or it's excluding black people, or it's harming black people and maybe black and brown immigrants also. That's the outcome that it's creating. Then you go back to the policy and you look at what's the language in here and what does this language really mean? Who are they really talking about? Who's included and who's excluded? Who is targeted and who's protected based on the language in this? Critical thinking skills, okay? If you use your critical thinking skills, you'll know exactly who they're trying to harm, who they're trying to exclude, and who they're trying to disenfranchise. Let's bring critical thinking back into the room with us. And if you want more support and education and guidance on your journey to live by anti-racist values and principles and practices, join the Anti-Racism School is in Session Patreon community. Anti-racism is not a diet. It's a lifestyle.